So a lot of times when I record these videos, I try to have a sense of preparation. I try to have notes off to the side. That way it's a little bit more concise, a little bit more organized. But lately I've been wanting to do one of these kind of videos where it's just free form. I want it to seem like it's a conversation. When I first set out in creating and developing this YouTube channel, it was always going to be an opportunity to create discourse amongst people who have similar tastes or dissimilar. Whether it was that you were a fan of the same sports teams, whether it was a fan of your pro wrestling or not, I like having that sense of community and that sense of conversation. So with this channel, a lot of times you'll see me do reactions such as post-show, whether it's on Raw or SmackDown, or as well as the podcast where I'm covering, daily or weekly events within pro wrestling. But I wanted to try something out different here and just press record and start talking. One of the major talking points and topics within professional wrestling right now is the return of Roman Reigns. Now, Roman Reigns, as we know, is the tribal chief. He's the big dog. He's the man. But he wasn't always like that, upon entering the WWE, upon his first run as a single star. And there's a sense that because of he and Cody Rhodes now considerably being the two top baby faces in the promotion, there's now like a sense of a clash between the two, that there can't be one top dog. And I look back to a time like in the late 90s and early 2000s when you had The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Most of the time, those two were adversaries, but there was this short window where they both were baby faces and they were battling it out to be the top guy. That I think very much is in play when it comes to Cody and Roman. I think these two are destined to be at each other's ends. I think at the end of the day, we're not going to see them team up and create like a mega powers type of team. I think they're always going to be at odds. But I think at SummerSlam, we really saw a glimpse of what this potential future could be with a babyface Roman and a babyface Cody. There was this sense of respect between the two of them, acknowledgement, if you will. Cody obviously recognizing that Roman Reigns had been champion for nearly 4 years. And now Roman Reigns realizing that Cody Rhodes is the man that beat him at WrestleMania 40, ending that 1,300-day title reign. So he has to give him that level of respect, especially now seeing what the bloodline under Solo Sikoa has become. There's a mutual respect there, just like there was with Rock and Austin. And I can see how some people might perceive this as divisive or maybe even as an issue because there should be a top guy. I don't necessarily think so. Unless these two are fighting against one another one-on-one and you want a desired outcome or a specific reaction to one individual, having two top guys I don't think is a bad thing. What I think might present a challenge is having both guys on the same show. If we were to have them, one on SmackDown and one on Raw, to give them that separation, I don't feel like it would be as much of an issue. But because when we get to Friday Night SmackDown and we see the segments with Cody Rhodes versus that of Roman Reigns, not only is there a different reaction in person, but there's a different reaction and perception online. And that's one thing that we've seen since Roman Reigns' return. There have been people who have been criticizing Cody Rhodes' title reign, whether it is the lack of serious storytelling, or even most recently where people have been criticizing his physique, criticizing him on a physical level and saying that he's not necessarily what a champion should be. Now, if you ask me, I think that in itself is outrageous, especially given in the year 2024, I don't think there's a specific look that a champion must follow in order to be a champion. You look at Cody Rhodes' father, Dusty Rhodes, who literally is the perfect example of what a champion is without having those physical attributes. And that's not to disparage Dusty Rhodes in any way. But when you had guys like superstar Billy Graham, then the Hulk Hogans of the world, and you see Dusty Rhodes, he really embodied that of the common man, which was a great part of his gimmick, and it led to the success of Dusty Rhodes. But I look at Roman Reigns and I look at Cody Rhodes, and these two, for me at least, are one coin. The only difference really is one is on heads and one is on tails. I think they are a perfect balance between one another. If you look at it, you could even present it in the sense of Batman and Superman, both fighting for the same thing. They just go about it in a different way. And I think that's a great opportunity to create a bigger fan base, because now you're presenting alternative looks on what a hero is, especially given in the modern age. It's not really cut and dry anymore on who's a babyface and who's a heel. Look no further than the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre feud. Those guys aren't necessarily following the dynamics of what a hero and a villain is. There are times that Drew McIntyre can be a super heel. But then you look at Clash at the Castle and having CM Punk interfere and costing him his World Heavyweight Championship match. There's an argument to be made that CM Punk was the heel and Drew McIntyre was the babyface in that instant. I think ultimately we have to look at it from a distance and really take a step back. These are two individuals who are going through different points of their career. Of course, I'm talking kayfabe wise. Roman Reigns lost the bloodline essentially. Jimmy Uso's gone. Jey Uso jumped ship. Paul Heyman was attacked. Solo Sikoa is now running roughshod with this new bloodline. Cody Rhodes is the champion. He now is the hunted rather the hunter. I think eventually we will see the rubber match. We will see Cody versus Roman Part 3. I don't know if it's going to be at a WrestleMania. I think we're probably going to see it more likely at like a SummerSlam perhaps, especially given that we're going to have 2 nights of SummerSlams coming up pretty soon. And also, just for transparency, I'm actually recording this video just a couple hours before Friday Night SmackDown. So this is me sharing my thoughts even before we see what's about to happen on SmackDown. Something might develop in terms of their storylines or their perception, I don't know. At this point, anything can happen. But I did want to share my thoughts on SmackDown as well as the current lead up to Bash in Berlin. Like I said, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes on 2 separate paths. I think right now, as it stands, we keep the 2 away from each other. So eventually, when they do come back together, not only is it a monumental event, but it's something that can lead to something even bigger down the line. What do you guys think in terms of the build to Roman versus Cody Part 3? What have been your honest opinions about Cody Rhodes' title reign so far? And how do you think SmackDown is shaping up in its build to Bash in Berlin? Thank you guys for joining me in this short video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to keep up to date with all the pro wrestling content that is produced on this channel. And for more, please check out this video of me reacting to Friday Night SmackDown and the events that occurred there. With that being said, my name is Jose Ramos Jr. Thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.